So I'm gonna start answering questions. I hope that this will help the audio be better. But yeah. Question number one. What makes you respect individuals, groups, or organizations? List whatever you can think of. Uh, People. I want to focus on people because I don't want to think about like groups and organizations. Mm, I mean, I normally respect all people. Like, I have a certain amount of respect, like a minimum, I guess. Amount of respect for everyone. Like, I treat everyone respectfully, at least. Like, respect them as a person, I think that's different. So, I guess I respect people who are kind. That's the first thing that comes in my head, like when I think of people I respect. Uh, People who are kind to others, considerate of others, people who uh, have their own values that they uphold, uh, people who are open to other points of views, like people who you can have a conversation with, like about different topics or not different topics, like maybe one topic, but then like a smart discussion where you can talk about both sides of the argument, and it doesn't have to be like I'm right, you're wrong. It's just like a conversation. So someone you can have a conversation with, someone who understands the concept of things being subjective and not everything having to be like yes, no, black, white, blah blah blah. Uh, I like people who uh I like um I respect people who uh are honest. Okay, not just honest, like it's not like I say the truth. It's just like if you're if you have integrity, for example, like you stay true to yourself and you don't you aren't like moved by other people to change your personality or the way you are. Cuz I think like me personally, sometimes I'm kind of have a weak will, but I like strong-willed people. I mean, that's admirable to me. Um, I can't relate as much, I guess. I mean, it's not that I can't relate. I can relate, but I'm not exactly like that. I respect people who live and let live. Like, for example, you might disagree with the way someone lives. Like maybe, I don't know, something simple. Like maybe they tattoo their skin and maybe you wouldn't do that. Like you wouldn't tattoo yourself, and you certainly don't like it, like, seeing it, but you're not gonna impose it on people like, ah, you know. Uh, so I like people who are respectful to others. I guess I respect people who are respectful, which is might sound silly, but it's kind of I don't know. It's simple. It's like yeah, I respect people who are respectful. And there's people who aren't respectful at all. Like they'll just say anything and they'll do anything and they don't respect other people. Like I don't know. But I don't know. Like I would kind of prefer if this was more like interactive, like people asking me questions. Because I feel like I know myself better if someone's asking me something and then I'll answer. But if it's just me searching within myself, it's really hard. I don't know why. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I wonder if that's enough. of an answer. Mm, I think I'll leave it at that and move on. If like there's another question you want to ask, you can just ask in the comment section or whatever. If you want me to expand on anything, or if you have specific questions you want to ask, I would really appreciate it. I would enjoy it. I love answering people's questions. Uh, okay. I'm gonna go with number two. What kind of things turn you off about a person? Wait, a person or a particular environment? What gets under your skin in a bad way? Well, I guess people who are overly aggressive, people who mock others. Because like recently I had this friend of mine mock me and it just it made me feel really angry. Um I actually have a list of little things that I found annoying. Okay. Not necessarily annoying, but just like I disliked them. Cause I don't know, I was kind of preparing myself for this. I think I'm not supposed to, because people say like, oh, you have to like be honest or like be as sincere or as in the moment as possible. But I couldn't help but like slightly prepare myself because I suck at this right now. So arrogance is also something I don't enjoy, and it gets under my skin in a bad way. Arrogance is in like you think you're better than others. Like the friend who was mocking me, he's also kind of arrogant. Like I would ask a question and he's always like the way he responds is in a way that's like it's obvious, and it makes me feel very inferior. It's actually quite common for me to feel inferior, like I'm stupid or something. So arrogance in like people who feel they are superior to others, or also the thing about like people who act like you can't ask stupid questions, because I love asking stupid questions apparently because I do it all the time, or so I'm told. I don't know. Um, yeah, I mean, even though some things might be obvious, I still like doubting it or asking questions about it, even though it's stupid. Like, or maybe like, what if? And it's like, no, stop asking that. And it's like, let me ask my question. Um, okay, another thing, which is, it's kind of out of place, and it has to do with like context in my life. It's like acting helpless. Like, I mean, I can relate to people who are helpless, like they feel helpless and they need help, and I would gladly like to help them and talk to them and get them back up, motivate them. But it gets under my skin when I help them, or they have the capacity to move on and get better, but they still act as if everything is hopeless, or they act as if they have no control of the situation, even though they do. But maybe they let things like fear or anxiety get to them. But like, I mean, I feel bad about it, like, but at the same time, it irritates me when after like talking with someone, and after maybe you yourself know that it's wrong for me to let fear be a barrier to moving on. Like they know this, but they still can't get themselves to act. Like they stay stuck in that helpless position, like the victim position. And I mean, it just irritates me when people let themselves be a victim, even though they can kind of improve on that. Um, Another thing I wrote down was I don't like people who act hostile or cold when they are starting to get to know you. Because I have friends who are cold, or maybe they aren't as warm, and maybe they're sort of apathetic. Like they have certain personalities that maybe would be unpleasant to some, but because I already know them and I trust them and all that, like we have a relationship, I accept their behavior and I learn to live with it and I like it. I like having different personalities in my life, including some that are cold or maybe like bitchy. I don't know. Just like those types of personalities that are conflictive. But I don't like if someone I approach is acting this way, like at the beginning. Like, I mean, now that I think about it, maybe it's like I shouldn't feel bad about it because it's who they are. But if I'm trying to be their friend or get to talk to them, I would like it if they made an effort to try to understand me also, instead of just sticking to their, I don't know, asshole personality. Um but like maybe it's me asking them to change, and I wouldn't want that, like thinking about what I stand for and my values. Like I guess I wouldn't want people to fake like hide their personality. But I don't know, like it's fine. I don't know. I guess I just don't like people who are hostile at the beginning of a relationship, of getting to know you, of getting to know someone. Like I want people to, I don't know. I'll just leave it at that, and like if you want to ignore that, I don't care. Oh, what else don't I like? I don't like, I don't know, people who judge too much. Like they their conversations thrive on speaking bad about people or being like, did you see her hair today? I don't know. Or did you just see his shoes? Like, I mean, it's okay. Like, I do it all the time. Like, everyone judges people, but if your daily conversations thrive on just judging others and things like that, I don't think I would like that type of environment. I guess I don't like people who focus on the negative. I don't like people who, instead of trying to fix a problem, they just freak out about the problem and they aren't helping at all. I don't like situations like an environment I certainly hate is like in my school. There's two classes I hate, and the thing I hate about them is, okay, there's physics class, and like it's a routine, and I'm okay with routines in general, I think. But this class, it's just a never ending routine, and it's so like mm, sorry, I forgot the word. Strict, I guess. It's just like you get to class, you do a warm up, you learn a little about, I don't know, momentum, then you do a worksheet, and then an exit ticket, like a problem you do at the end of the day at the class. So it's that all the time, and I hate it. Like, and it's not creative, it's not the way she teaches. It's just like she stands and then reads from a PowerPoint and expect us to learn. And uh, I don't like it. And the worksheets is always a worksheet. Every single class there's a worksheet, and I don't like that. So like a strict routine where everything's the same and it's sort of not creative at all, and it's just like the same every day. I don't like that. Uh, and I guess philosophy slash social studies class is also similar. Like you just get to class and you have to do a couple questions, and it's like it's philosophy class. I think that type of class should have like discussions or something more creative than just answering stupid questions. I feel like I don't learn anything in those classes, honestly. And it's funny because physics is really like math based, but I don't know, I'm better at calculus. I really like calculus compared to physics. And I'm pretty good. I mean, I understand calculus. Getting sidetracked. I'm gonna I think that's enough for that question. Um okay, question 3. How good is your memory for details? Specific conversations you've had, little tasks that need to be done. What were you doing the first time you heard a song, tried a food, etc.? Well, I mean, this one's pretty straightforward. I have a horrible memory. Like I barely remember even what I'm speaking of. Like when I'm having a conversation, I'll be like I can lose track of my thoughts really quickly. Or um I'll lose track of the time. Like maybe I did something certain days ago, but I'll think it's like it was last week. Like my timing will never be correct. Or like what year did I uh fracture my skull? Which happened. I mean, I don't know if the word is called fracture, but I had like a I hit my head. I couldn't tell you the year. I mean, I could guess, but I always guess like around a certain age. So I doubt it's accurate. Mm. I memorize things best, I think, visually. Like maybe I see pictures of a trip. Okay, I said this example in the last video. Like someone will tell me, what did you do in your trip, in your quinceañera trip, which is like for 15-year-olds, you have a trip. So I went to a trip to Europe, and I went around that area. And if you asked me right now what I did, I wouldn't be so precise in my examples, but maybe I look at some pictures that I took, and I'll remember more detailed like what I did. Um and also I feel like, I don't know, if I see a visual, it'll spark my mind like, oh, like it'll help me kind of remember, which is interesting. Yeah. Mm, so yeah, like a visual memory, like I like, yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty straightforward. Sorry. Um, hmm. Okay. Um, maybe my first times doing something. Nah, I'm still not very good at it. Like recently my friend was asking me when I first heard Nine Inch Nails, like my favorite band. And I think I have an idea of like the first time, but sometimes I doubt myself, like was that really the first time? But I don't know. I'll move on. Just I have a horrible memory and that's a fact. That's all you gotta know. And the visual thing, I think I'm pretty good at remembering things visually. What do you spend the most time thinking about? The past, the present, the future. The past, the present, the future. Mm, I think present and future mostly. And I think part of the reason I have a bad memory is because I don't dwell on the past as much. So, I mean, that makes sense, right? Because, like, people ask me, what did you eat for breakfast last week? And I'll be like, oh, I don't remember because I don't think about the past as much. So it just gets forgotten. Uh, but mostly the present, like, hmm, present or future. Because right now I'm thinking, like, if I ever do think like, what am I doing right now, or just being in the state of the present. No, I do that a lot. Like I just do things in the present and sometimes don't think about the future and just get wrapped up in the present. Like I mean, I could think about the future, like I could schedule my day, for example, but then in the present I'll be stuck in the present and I'll distract myself, like I don't know, reading stuff online. and I'll forget what I scheduled for the day because I'll be stuck in the present. And then sometimes I'll be like, okay, right now I would prefer doing this instead of doing the thing I scheduled. So past and future, and I apparently hate the past or something. Um okay, practical topics, logistical issues, relationship with people, theoretical concepts, issues of morality slash ethics. Between those, I'm not very what I don't know what logistical issues is. Hang on. So the word logistical is like planning, like dealing with planning and stuff. Not those. I mean, like today, for example, my friend was planning, like he's always like, uh, next month is carnival. We should do this and this. And sometimes I'm gonna be like, I guess I don't care much for planning exactly. I mean, I guess I like no, I don't love planning. I can be okay with it, but I don't think about it a lot, I guess. Practical issues. Sorry. Practical issues. Nah. Relationships with people, probably number 1. Just like thinking about my friends or wanting to relate to other people, cuz that's a pretty common feeling I have. Like, I wish I could be friends with this person, and um I wish I knew what this person was really like. For example, and I don't know, recently I've been like, how do I feel with my friends right now? With my friend personally. Like, I mean, yeah. Relationships with people, or maybe theories, maybe theories. Maybe more issues of morality and ethics than theoretical stuff. But I think those three combined, I guess. Mm, sorry if I'm annoying. Do you find yourself fixating on one thing, coming back to it and trying to figure it out, or are you more prone to meandering through multiple tangentially related topics? Maybe, I'm sorry if I can't answer this one question because it's kind of hard, but if I had to like choose, I think I fixate on one thing and come back to it more. Yeah, like I'm sort of, I mean, I'm not like totally sure. I'm just kind of like assuming it. Um, so okay, I'm just gonna say that I fixate on one thing, come back to it multiple times, sort of figure it out. Um, do you often daydream slash space out? When you do daydream or fantasize, what kinds of things do you imagine and think about? Daydream, spacing out. Mm, I'm not sure. Well, I mean, I was thinking, but lately, or like in the present time, I feel like it's harder for people to just space out and daydream just because of the sorry, my English and my Spanish, the quantity, the majority, no, the the multitude of distractions. Like the computer, the phone, music, whatever. So just like, because I can see myself being distracted easily, not necessarily like daydreaming exactly. Like I would have to be away from technology, but I'm most of the time distracted by my computer. Um, but I would say that I do kind of space out a little. But now I'm thinking like, for example, sometimes I am kind of in the present, like I can sense around me, Cause like it's really funny because my friends make fun of me because of this. But every time that I hear around me the name Mariana, which is my name, I always turn around and say like, "I heard my name," and my friends always laugh. And sometimes they actually say my name on purpose. Like they're talking about some random stuff like, "Oh yeah, I went to McDonald's and whatever, Mariana," and then I will be like, "What?" and they laugh at me. So maybe that makes me more sensing like in the moment. I don't know. But I think I'm kind of distracted, like a distracted person. I consider myself a distracted person, like a I forget what it's called. It's the opposite of down to earth, just like floating around, I guess. And my mom will always be like, "You never listen." But it's not that I don't listen. I'm just like it just happened like something happened recently where she explained to me something that I had to do and I understood it differently, like somehow, like I thought the context. So I don't know. I I don't know. I'll just leave it like that because okay, I'm gonna move on. Think five. Think about a topic or two you're really interested in and like having conversations about. Do you think you would generally have more fun talking about that topic with an enthusiastic, curious listener who asks you lots of great questions? Or do you think you would generally have more fun listening to an interesting, entertaining person talk at length about it and answer your questions enthusiastically? Definitely talk. And if it's something like that I know about and I'm passionate about and like for example Nine Inch Nails, which I can talk about for like oof. I would prefer to talk about it and I would like people to ask me questions. Um hmm. But now like now I'm wondering like if I really want to be responsible for educating people and like what if I don't have the answers? But I don't know. I think I'd be fine with talking like yeah. If it's something that I'm passionate about. I mean, I like both, honestly. Like I like listening to people too. And most of the time I do sort of listen. Like it's really hard for me to find someone who listens. I'm kind of used to just like listening, so I don't know. I'll just say I'm mostly in the middle. Like I can do both and I like doing both. Um and I was thinking that like I would like answering questions because I normally like when people ask me things about myself or something. But if it's something like about a topic and not necessarily about me, then maybe I won't be educated enough or something and I'll feel like bad. Like, oh no, I can't answer the question right. Okay, moving on. In the last question, what topics were you thinking about? Oh, I was just thinking about Nine Inch Nails because it's like my obsession. I don't know. Like, I don't like calling it my obsession because I feel like it has connotations of like it's a thing, like temporary or like right now I'm obsessed or something like that. But it's like, it's more than that. It's like an adoration, admiration. I think it's the best music ever. I've never liked an artist so much. I mean, I can like certain music, other music as like really a lot, but as an artist, I think Trent Reznor slash Nine Inch Nails is the one that I admire the most. So I was thinking about that because it's the thing that I probably know the most about and can talk about because I listened to all the albums. I know some trivia, I think. Yeah. I was what else was I thinking of? I mean, Right now, I could think about books, for example, like maybe a book I read. Um, Even though sometimes I read a book and I don't remember all the details, like I'd have to kind of remind myself. Um, hmm. Movies. I could talk about movies. I could talk about beauty. Beauty just because like it's a topic that most people don't like, they think beauty is objective, like this person's beautiful, this person's ugly, whatever. Even though beauty is sort of in the eye of the beholder. Even though I did read a book called Necrophilia Variations, which makes an interesting point saying like, is beauty really in the eyes of the beholder? 'Cause, like, what if a person's a necrophiliac and they see a dead person as beautiful? Is a dead person really beautiful? I mean, that book is really cool. It's just like, it's called Necrophilia Variations. I really recommend it. It's just like random stories and they really make you question like morality or the way things are. And it's all based around necrophilia. It's not necessarily that all the stories are about necrophiliacs, but they have to do with death, and death seen as maybe beautiful or as inviting. It's really cool. I like things that make you question morality or make you question things. Like they make you think, wow, why is this like this? Or like you could always counter one thing with the other. I am getting carried away. Um, I can't think of other topics I'd like to talk about. Maybe sh things about social justice. I don't know. Um, um, Maybe LGBT stuff since I'm kind of uh I don't know, I know about that stuff. I mean, I'm not like an expert or anything, but I like to, I don't know, educate people on that more. Um, Sex, I guess. Nah. I used to be like really into sex like as a concept, like I would educate myself as much as I could on it. Not necessarily that I would be like experiencing sex or anything, like nah. I was just like learning proper sex education, stuff like that. Okay, I can't really think of anything else. Okay, if someone is doing something that you strongly disagree with, how likely are you to confront them about it? If you do confront them, how do you usually tend to do it? How does your answer change depending on your relationship with the person and whether the actions directly affect you? If someone is doing something that I strongly disagree with, how likely am I to confront them? This is a kind of hard question. I think I would like to confront them, but I feel like sometimes, I guess maybe I'm not strong enough, or I think maybe just that, like maybe I'll just feel too nervous and like maybe that person I feel is superior to me, or um maybe they're mean, so if I say something they'll just attack me back and I'll be hurt or people will laugh at me. But I think I'm more inclined to confronting people if it's something that I really disagree on. Like, I don't know, maybe some comment that shows ignorance, or what do you call that? Injustice? No, just like, yeah, maybe injustice is the right word, like something that isn't right. Like, I don't know, just a racist comment or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm such a social justice warrior or whatever. It's just like I have certain views on morality and like equality, whatever, things like that. So I like to educate people. I mean, I don't want to sound like it's the only alternative, but no, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I think there's morality that is kind of set. Like it's the ideal thing, the ideal way you should live, I guess. Like with I don't know, gender, like you have to have equality. I don't know. I mean, I don't like getting too much into this type of conversation because I feel like I'll have to defend myself, and I don't know if I'm such a strong, I don't know if I'll be able to defend myself or anything. But anyway, I do want to confront people who I feel are getting against my values, are going against my values. How do I confront them? I guess I'm not as aggressive. I mean, I wouldn't just barge in, and I wouldn't be too aggressive. I would like for it to be an intelligent conversation. I would like to have a conversation most of all. Um, I would like to be listened. Um, Even though sometimes some people won't listen. In that case, all I can do, like, I wouldn't just keep pressing or get more aggressive. I would eventually just like, well, this person is ignoring me, so I'll just stop. But mostly I approach them as in like wanting to have a conversation with them. How does your answer change depending on your relationship with the person? Hmm. Hmm. If it's someone like an acquaintance, I'll just do that type of thing. Just like confront them and try to have a conversation. And if they ignore me, I'll just brush them off. But I think if it's a friend, I might actually be a little more forceful. Like I will keep pressing because I care more about them. So, I mean, this would be like maybe like in case they're doing something and it's not the best for them, or like yeah, like something like that. So I want them to make the better choice, or I want them to consider another option. So I'll talk to them and I'll try my best to convince them. So I will probably try harder with a friend than with just a random person. Mm, so yeah. And I guess if their actions directly affect me, I would probably try harder then. Hmm. Like, because I wouldn't want to suffer or anything. Okay, number 8. I was gonna do it with my hands, but I have to hold the mic, which I hope is working because I don't plan to answer these questions all over again. How interested are you in trying new things? Traveling, trying strange and exotic foods, going on roller coasters, jumping out of airplanes, things like that. I'm pretty interested. I mean, I love trying new foods, especially like that's the first thing that I'm like, oof, yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna try every food I can, even if it's like uh tongue. I mean, I've had tongue before, like a cow's tongue. I mean, I can't think of weird foods right now, but I'll try it, trust me, even if it looks weird. Traveling, of course. I mean, I would like to travel, and I mean, I'm not like some people, like I've seen some people be like travel obsessed or like always thinking about traveling. I'm not necessarily like obsessed with traveling, but I do want to see other countries. Like for example, I don't want to stay here in Colombia. I want to live somewhere else, probably Europe, somewhere in Europe. I mean, I speak of Europe as if it were like like one country. but that's how people refer to Africa, so um yeah. So traveling I like, and trying new foods too. Um Going on roller coasters, I never miss out a roller coaster. There's people who are like afraid of it, but eh. And the other example was jumping out of airplanes. My cousin was actually trying to like, he was saying that he knows a place where you can do that, and I was like, "Oh, count me in." But at the same time, I was thinking that maybe bungee jumping would be better, because like I've heard that in when you get out of an airplane, you don't feel the emptiness in your stomach or the void. But with bungee jumping, you would. And I like the feeling of like emptiness inside you, and like the tingling feeling, I don't know, in your gut. Um okay. What else? Regardless of how interested you are, how willing would you be to do those things if someone asked you to? How often do you actually do things like that? How often? Okay, first of all, yeah, I would be pretty interested if I have the chance. If I have the means, I would definitely do them. Yeah. Um, how often? As often as I can, but I guess I don't, I don't know. I mean, I don't have the opportunity as much, so sorry. I can't think of examples, and suddenly I'm kind of tired. Number 9. How would other people describe your demeanor? It may help to ask people, how emotional do you seem to people? How rational? Do you tend to be quiet and reserved, or more loud and talkative? Do you seem to choose your words carefully, or talk stream of consciousness? Or do you sometimes think so fast you stumble trying to get all the words out? Okay, I'm gonna pause a little. I'm definitely more emotional. Like, even if it says, like, how emotional do you seem to people? I know that I'm definitely emotional, and no one can tell me I'm not, because I am. I mean, yeah, most of the time. I mean, I can't really think of, like, when I'm a logical person. Maybe when I'm making decisions, but even then, it's not very rational. Um, do you tend to be quiet and reserved, or more loud and talkative? I'm kind of in the middle. Like, nah. I mean, within my friends, I'm one of the most loud and talkative people. Maybe not necessarily loud, but talkative. I can be quiet and reserved. Maybe I'm quiet and reserved to the people around me that aren't my close friends, because I'm sort of shy when I'm sorry, the camera. When I'm in class, maybe like other classmates will probably think I'm quiet and reserved, but I'm not. I mean, I'm in the middle. I can be quiet, I can be talkative. I think it mostly matters with my shyness. But like if I'm meeting someone new, I'm mostly talkative. Like I'll try to be the one who starts the conversation and continues it, especially if the other person is shy. Like I will try to make them feel okay. Like I will try to make them feel like, yeah, we can have a conversation. Hang on. Sorry. I had to put my hair up because I'm hot right now. I forgot what I was saying. Okay. Like if yeah, like if I'm talking with someone who's shy, I try to like keep the conversation going, and I talk a lot, and I open moments in the conversation for them to speak, so they know it's fine. Cuz like some people might think like, "Oh, I don't know what to talk about. Oh, conversations make me so nervous," or stuff like that, but I'll be like, I can handle it. Just chill. I'll lead the conversation. And I mean, it's not like I'm taking responsibility. Like I don't want to make it feel like I don't want to make it sound like I feel like it's my responsibility. It's mostly just like me. Like just how I feel. Like I just want to talk to these people. Like I want to get to know this person, this new person that I'm just meeting. So I'm going to be talkative. I'm going to make them feel like I'm interested in them. So I guess I would talk a lot. I would I would thrive on talking with the stranger. So I guess I'm talkative. Not necessarily loud, but I'm talkative and I'm not that reserved. I'm pretty open, honestly. Do you seem do you seem to choose your words carefully or talk stream of consciousness or think so fast? I probably don't think it too fast to stumble on what I'm saying. I feel like I express myself pretty well. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm choosing my words carefully because right now I'm trying to think of how my brain is working and it doesn't feel like I'm thinking of the words I'm saying. It just feels like naturally speaking, like I'm naturally speaking. It just feels like it feels like my brain is empty and I'm just speaking. Maybe it's because both are working at the same time. So maybe it is like a stream of consciousness. I'll just say it's like a stream of consciousness then. Um, sorry. Do you tend to finish your sentences or skip to the next sentence in the middle of the one you're saying? Or skip to new topics entirely? I probably I don't skip to new topics. Um, do I finish my sentences? I think I do. Like I would like to finish my sentence. Like if I have a thought, I like to continue it. Even though I think right now I interrupted myself. So I probably do interrupt myself. Like it would be in the middle of this. It would be sometimes I would interrupt myself and sometimes I do like to finish sentences. But I think maybe the thing about finishing sentences, it has the connotation of of um of me having a structured sentence in my head that I want to say and have people hear. So I want to sorry. So I want to finish that. But it's not like I don't feel like I'm like this. I feel like I can interrupt myself because I don't really have a structured sentence that I want to finish. Like I just talk and I don't know, it just happens. Um do you Do you interrupt others? If so, when and how often? How do you feel if someone interrupts you? I do not interrupt people. I think that's rude. Sometimes, like my parents will always think I'm annoying because if they're talking on the phone, I will be like, "Please let me tell you something." Like I have to tell you something even though they're busy. Like it's just cuz I'm not patient. But I don't know. I don't think I interrupt too much. I think I'm a pretty. It's a word with P. Polite. I'm a polite listener. Um, if someone interrupts me, I will be annoyed, but I will probably just stay quiet and let you finish. Because like if you have something to say that it was so important that you had to interrupt me, then just tell me. I'm fine. I'll just try to remember what I had to say. How often do you feel like you have so much energy you can't sit still and need to be up and moving? Oh, I'm pretty energetic most of the time. Uh, right now I'm like, I don't know, I'm kind of in the middle. Like right now I want to just sleep. I don't know. And sometimes like today I said I was going to go to the gym and I did not go. I was like, no, I want to stay at home and do other things. So I guess I'm lazy. How hard is it for you to get out of the bed in the morning or get up after relaxing for a long time? Getting out of bed in the morning is super easy. I don't know why. I just wake up and it's like I'm ready to go. But like after relaxing, that's different. Cuz like after like when you're waking up from bed, it's when you wake up. So it's like you got to wake up and you got to start your day. But like if it's in the middle of the day and you took a nap or you're watching a movie and chilling with music on, it's pretty hard for me to like get out of that. Like I guess I just want to relax. Yeah. Okay. Last question. Are you involved in any creative activities or projects? What are they and why do you like them? What are your goals in these areas? What have you felt most proud of or satisfied with? How likely are you to finish a particular project you start? Well, is reading a project? Cause like, I was just thinking of reading. Cause like sometimes if I'm really into the book, I'll read it like really quickly. But then sometimes like this book right now that I'm reading, I just I have to like space it out a bit more. Cause like maybe it's difficult for me to read, so I'll have to like that's my reaction. Other projects and creative activities, I like drawing. I draw often. I draw in school in my art class right now. Well, when I'm in art class, I'm like in the zone. Like I will draw the whole class. I will not take breaks. I will just draw and I will be kind of immersed in it. So it took me like, for example, 3 days to finish a little canvas. Um, so and I think that was pretty quick. With my digital drawings, it's a little less like that because guess I don't have enough experience, so I don't always finish my digital drawings and I'll leave them half done. Um, what have you felt most proud or satisfied with? I think I'm good with I think my best art is my acrylic paintings on canvases, which is kind of bad because like being a fine artist uh isn't like a sure career or anything, but I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Um okay, so that's it. Finally, my age, gender, nationality. I am 17, practically 18. I'll be 18 January 1st, 2018. So I go with the year. So January 1st, 2000 is my birthday. So 2001, I'm 1 years old, and so on and so forth. Gender, I am a woman, I am a female, and I am Colombian. I say Colombian instead of Colombia because it's written with two O's, and some people write it with a U, but whatever. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening.